Gene Hackman and Lauren Hutton star in an all-American adventure. Viva Knievel is our late film in 35 minutes here on BBC One. Before that, I'm with Strobing, Liquid News.
Liquid News with Christopher Price.
Good evening. These are the week's headlining stories. It's all gone wonky-donkey for Barrymore. The Geordie twins steal his TV crown. Earning their stars and stripes, America rocks for its 911 heroes. Plus my last blind date. New shock rock Scarecrow makes love to Liquid News. Yes, hello, my name is Christopher. Thanks for joining me for a tinkle around the week's entertainment globe as seen on our nightly live show over on BBC Choice. We start tonight with Ant and Dec decking Barrymore, Jugs Judy keeping the dogs in for the night, and J.R. Ewing making everyone's mind spin like Class C cannabis. This week was the National Television Awards over at the Royal Albert, and unlike past years, the 7th annual event went off without a hitch, but that meant that organisers had to ask winners to make longer speeches to fill airtime. Pumping out 2 minutes nicely for Liquid News, Alex Stanger.
And the winner is... Michael Barrymore's My Kind of Music.
Sadly for everybody here at the National TV Awards, Michael Barrymore wasn't here to pick up one of these for Most Popular Entertainment Programme.
And the winner is...
But Barrymore was probably pleased he kept up his Showbiz Excel when Ant and Dec biffed him in another category for Best Entertainment Presenter. Trouble Michael had won the prestigious prize 5 times in the past, but the suited and booted SMTV boys were thrilled to take the crown. It's the first time it's been awarded to 2 people. Who's the better presenter out of the 2 of you?
Me. Categorically. Right. No, and I don't know what we're going to do with the award either.
Do we get 2 then?
And 2 stars wanting to claim their tiara for this morning were the show's former hosts, a rock and roll looking Rich and Jude.
This is a dress which was made pre the halter neck dress and is a lot more sensibly pinned together.
New mum Davina McCall was there to whoop it up for the Big Bruv Part 2, which won Best Factual Programme.
I've got an ache in my body to get back to my baby, actually.
So no party?
No party, no. Car waiting outside. I'm going to run out there. Do you think they'll miss me for the rest of the show?
Unlike most award bashers, the celebs popping out, lining up and basically transforming themselves, yes, that is Carol Vorderman, didn't have a clue who had won the mantelpiece fillers until the silvery envelope was opened. That's because the votes on all the categories closed just before the show went on air.
It's a big surprise and it's lovely.
And the best newcomer wasn't the only EastEnder living it up last night. True to form, and bashful Adam Woodyard explained why EastEnders trounced last year's winners Corrie in the best soap category.
To be honest, I don't think the others could possibly hope to beat us on it. Sorry.
Without Barrymore's rambling speeches and backstage antics, the award show was more subdued than in past years. Many pundits were just thanking their showbiz stars for revealing dresses to fill their headlines. Alex Stanger, BBC News.
Tonight's guests are the former kitten-turned-lovely mother who's just been hosting this morning, along with her Westlife life partner. It's Kerry. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Was this morning all right?
It was really well, thank you.
Good, I'm glad about that. And representing the big screen and the stage is a British-style massive in the delightful shape of Mr. Nick Moran. How are you?
I'm
You're
very well,
knackered,
thank
aren't
you.
you?
Yes, I'm a bit tired, but I'm here.
Yeah, the truth is best on this particular show. Let's look at the pictures. Ant and Dec, the big winners on the particular night. You've worked with them extensively. You've been on Ant and Dec
I have,
many a time. They just as lovely in real life.
You know what? I've never met 2 down-to-earth lads. They're really, really nice guys, lovely guys. Shame they're with somebody. Shame I'm with somebody. You never know. 3 of us there.
Would you give it a go though if you weren't?
Totally, yeah.
Nick?
But no, they're not my type.
That's not what you were telling me before.
I've met them quite a few times at the sort of various sort of charity dues and football matches, and they are blindingly funny, really warm, nice pair of guys, and you know, all power to them.
That's what works on TV, is it? It's very personable, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, they're not. It's not feigned. You know, they're just as amiable if you're in a bar with them as if you're working with them. So great.
What about you? We saw the people from EastEnders picking up their award. You're, very serious. You're on stage doing this play we're going to talk about later in the show. What do you reckon to soap actors?
Well, I think soap acting is one of the. They really do put the hours in, and I've got a lot of sympathy for and respect for people who work on soaps, because you are doing a 12-hour day, sometimes a 15-hour day. You get minutes to rehearse, and the scripts are thrown at you, and there's a skill to making that stuff. You know, you're in everyone's front room, and you want it to be good, and they do a blinding good job.
In a word, Hollyoaks, would you go in it, or Brookside?
Personally, no, but okay. I might watch it.
Let's just talk about this morning very briefly. And this has come about with Brian, just the pictures we've got here. It went okay for you?
Yes, it went really, really well. Yeah, we had a good laugh. We worked good together.
Would you do it full time if they asked you
With
to?
me and Brian?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think Brian would give up his career for that. But, you know, I'm available before he end up on the dole. Give me a job, anybody.
It's another Job Centre edition here.
Yeah.
You must have been would he consider leaving Westlife, do you think, though? Because you did work very well.
No, definitely not. Do you know what I mean? Good job you said that.
And you had the whole choice of Westlife as well, and you went for Brian.
I did. He's the best.
Did you
I got the best.
You got the best, good.
I did.
Have you considered doing this morning?
Me?
Yeah.
Contractually, not allowed to.
Oh.
But I think I'd be more Judy than Richard, so I don't think I'd be allowed to do it, which is a bit of a problem. Upcoming on this edition here on BBC One, I'm very happy to be with the BBC. Charlotte Church in leather, coming of age in a Showtime stopper kind of routine. This is Liquid Music News. In America, bags of fan mail for major stars are being left unopened or returned to sender because of the anthrax alert. But while the big names won't open their posts, they will open concerts. A three-day gig spectacular in New York, Washington and Nashville has raised $17 million so far for the victims of September 11th. Jackson did Washington, McCartney worked Manhattan. Steph West has this report.
In Washington, where almost 200 died at the Pentagon, people paid between $25 and $75 for tickets. For that, they got a medley of anthems from a strictly musical lineup. But in New York, where tickets range from $200 to $5,000, rockers had to share the stage with movie stars now devoted to fundraising.
For the men and women who have risked and lost their lives to ensure New York remains the greatest symbol of unity and freedom in the world.
Hi, I'm Susan Sarandon.
I'm John Cusack.
I'm Halle Berry. I'm Meg Ryan.
I'm Harrison Ford.
I am Hilary Swank.
Hello, New York. I'm Billy Crystal.
Despite tales of concert diving, with Mick Jagger apparently being lured away from the Washington bill to appear at Macca's New York gig instead, this was not meant to be a competition. And in DC, the musicians donated their own money to the terrorist whistleblower fund.
Just like the Berlin Wall was taken down by the guitar, I believe Keith Richards said, we can do it. We can keep the spirit alive, you know?
In New York, 5,000 tickets were given away free to rescue workers, firefighters and police who've been toiling in the ruins of the World Trade Center for the last 6 weeks. There was no guilt at enjoying the celebration, just relief and much support for the war.
Osama bin Laden, you can kiss my Royal Irish ass.
Stephanie West, BBC News.
Royal Irish ass. That was good, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was quite spectacular. I like that. Now, domestic concert news. And after a year in the music festival cold store, Glastonbury is bidding to make an even bigger comeback. There's an image you've got stuck in your mind there, isn't it? Organisers are applying for a licence to increase the event's capacity in 2002. Security problems at last year's event meant that this summer's three-day event had to be cancelled. Glastonbury's father, the organiser, Michael Eavis, is hoping his local council will now allow an extra 30,000 people into the event. The extra ticket sales will help to pay for a new gatecrasher-proof fence that's taller than an erect giraffe. That's another image for everyone. Sarah Cox is hiring a top lawyer to pursue the Sunday People after getting snappity-snapped in her honeymoon hot tub. The red top splashed 8 photos of Mr. and Mrs. Cox in the Seychelles. In 7 of them, they were totally bathing costume shy. The early riser went ballistic and complained to the press watchdog, that's the PCC. Well, the tabloid has now apologised. Sarah's hired the media lawyer Keith Schilling, which could mean that a substantial showbiz damages lawsuit is now in the offing. Pictures now of Charlotte Church wearing some serious cowhide. You'll have to see Steps first. Mid-year Showtime at the stadium in Cardiff saw Steps, S Club 7 and Atomic Kitten working their little asses off to West End tunes, all for children in need and AIDS charities. Also rinsing it was the former coy choir girl turned leather teen minx, Charlotte Church. And after recent shock revelations that S Clubbers Paul and Hannah have been private dancing together, fellow members told the world to just give love a chance.
It's really hard to sustain a relationship anyway, you know, doing this job, and especially working together, but they're very good together and they're very happy. So let them be.
That is just let them be, isn't it? Excuse me? That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Dating at the moment, Nick, any particular comment?
On tour.
I've been in the papers a bit.
Well, nothing to do with me.
No, that's true. Let's just have a look at some of the pictures from that Charlotte Church little makeover there. It's looking nice. Are you appreciating that, Nick? You know how she was before?
Yeah.
With songs of praise.
Oh, hang on.
How old is she?
Legal.
She looks very old,
No,
doesn't
she's
she?
16.
See, they make all these little ones look a lot older than what they are.
Yeah, no, I think we'll just end on that particular subject. There was a
yeah, I think she should stick with a caftan, I think.
I've got a spare one I could lend her. Atomic Kitten were playing Showtime at the stadium.
Yeah.
Of course, you were in Atomic Kitten.
I was in Atomic Kitten.
You weren't breaking news there at all. We know why you left, obviously, to have the baby.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I left because the fun had stopped.
But do you not slightly think, you know, they've just had this huge success in the States. It's just the worst luck in the world, isn't it?
Not really, because I've got my baby and that's the best #1 any girl could have.
Yeah, and maybe you were holding them back. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they're waiting for you to go and then they... No, sorry, I'm
I'll tell you what! You know what? I used to like you. And all your films are crap.
Oh, all right, fair enough. No, I'm only teasing. We know each other. We did the Jerry Springer show together when she was in Atomic Kitten.
I was.
When you were in Atomic Kitten, you were brilliant. You were great.
I was.
That was your first TV show, and it was great.
It was.
Yeah, we were.
And I still am.
You still are.
Gosh, we're watching pay-per-view fighting here. This is good. This normally costs you $15.99 on Sky Chat. But there was a message from Atomic Kitten for me from that. They sent messages. Let's have a look at them, what they had to say.
Christopher, we love you and we hope you enjoyed the performance if you saw it.
And my mate fancies you, Christopher.
No way.
He does.
She's making a major assumption there about my sexuality.
Did you see how there was just no quality there, you know what that means?
Yeah. Yeah.
See that?
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yeah. You don't like cats, do you? But we're going to come to that later. Just a quick picture of you and the lovely, but it's Molly, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. I think we've got a... There it is, lovely. Was it a difficult... Was it a difficult pregnancy?
Rough. No, it was very easy, actually. I had an epidural, but it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said something about your bra, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, these things, if I put my bra out, I could actually put the baby and use it as a little cot. I know, I make Jordan look normal.
You're really just feeling yourself just then, weren't you?
Yeah.
God, that is pay-per-view as well.
It's just a bit cold in here, that's all.
Yeah, God, we're up against Channel 5. Anyway, now, jingle, jangle, now then. We do need an actor to do that kind of thing. Yeah. The making of Top of the Pops has returned to BBC TV Centre here in West London for the first time in a decade. The show is bigger, brighter, and with 57% more bling-bling. The show has even got its own bar, which serves cocktails to the stars. Lulu stole all the bar nuts. Colin Patterson has his report.
37 years old, but it still knows how to misbehave. Top of the Pops was living it up. To celebrate the show's move back from L Street to Television Centre in White City, Top of the Pops threw a huge bash. The first person to arrive was, appropriately enough, the show's first ever presenter, Sir Jimmy Savile.
So Top of the Pops, 2001, Top of the Pops, 1964, now then. What are the main differences?
No change, baby. I enjoyed it then, and I enjoy it now.
the relocated Top of the Pops now even has its own drinking establishment, the Star Bar, supposedly modelled on London's trendy Met Bar.
Well, it's similar. It's got chairs and they sell alcohol.
Because I work here, I'd like to come into this bar, but not necessarily when Westlife are here.
I think the whole idea is just brilliant. The whole setup's amazing, and you know, it's great on Top of the Pops.
So once again, White City is blessed by men with microphones surrounded by waving women. And also huge stars. Liquid News paid our respects to Queen of the Vocoder, Cher. So, Cher, what are your first memories of Top of the Pops?
Oh my first memories of Top of the Pops was 1965. And I think it was the first show that Sonny and I did. And it's the most, I guess it's the most enduring show. I mean, there's nothing that is still playing from when I first started except this show, in the whole world.
The Legends performance for Friday's Top of the Pops was the talk of the party.
Was it in her contract that she didn't have to move while she sang? Cher. I love Cher.
How did she go?
How does she go? She goes. And every now and then, a heel slips, and there's a producer going, 10 grand! 10 grand that cost us!
The facelift everyone liked was the one that's been given to Top of the Pops. Colin Patterson, BBC News.
You doing my DJ set there? I think I look quite nice.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Some of the other week's music stories. She's oh so topless. See what we did here? Icelandic pop princess Björk is famous for her weird dress sense, but now she's only bothering with half a dress. In a video for her next single, Pagan Poetry, an Alexander McQueen frock leaves her naked from the waist up, without as so much as a couple of sugar bakes to cover her modesty. Let's have a look. Working Harry-O like that.
Topless and mad.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
That's a good combination for you, I would imagine.
Topless and mad.
Been there, done that.
On this show, will that be happening?
Exactly. Pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
yeah.
I did another story. We'll see if they're whipped out by then. And here on Choice, we're giving away a pair of tickets, not Pure Express. We've got 2 tickets for next month's MTV Europe Awards up for grabs. All you have to do is log on to the website, answer a couple of questions, go on a date with me, and you could find yourself in Frankfurt on November the 8th. The prize includes all flights and accommodation. All you have to do is make sure you're over 18 and that you have a passport, but if you're underage or just unlucky, Liquid News will bring you the latest from Germany when we come live from the awards in 2 weeks' time. Still ahead, Kate Adie is compared to fish as younger trout swim up the new success stream. What is that about?
Sorry?
Yeah, this is Liquid TV News. Cannabis is now Class C. Des Lynam says he's staying put with ITV despite his premiership show being kicked in the onion sack. Defector Des, who was poached by ITV in a £5 million moustache deal, says he's not happy about the struggling show moving to 10:30, but he says he's not bailing out because it's still a good programme, even though there's no football in it. Not a complete quote from him, obviously, there. Ageing old trout Kate Adie, her words, not mine, that's how she described herself, is kicking off a ground offensive with TV news bosses who she says just want bootylicious lady reporter Totty on their screens. Mesmerising an audience at the Cheltenham Festival of Literature, 56-year-old Colonel Adie said producers want cute faces and cute bottoms with nothing in between. Kate says getting on screen is no longer about having a snug flak jacket and journalist credentials, but about having fighting fit legs. What would you prefer?
Well, there are certain news presenters which I would like to see in the middle of a battlefield, you know, but and I think so. Kate's barking up the right tree.
Can you name one without being nasty? No, just one.
Just right, you know, pick. No, there's and maybe a few sort of tabloid journalists as well. I think the more journalists you send to battlefields, the better for everybody.
We're going to assume that you mean Anna Ford unless you give us...
Oh, no, Anna Ford's...
Well, I'll do another story, give you time to think. He's famous for making Sue Ellen's mouth quiver, quibble and dribble, but now the man who loved a genie, Larry Hagman, is going to be remembered for his rock and roll ways. In his new book, Hello, Darling, the Dallas Star reveals that he was a heavy drug user during the 60s. During one hippie trip, Larry describes feeling a buzz below his navel before seeing a cave guarded by octopus-like creatures whilst a lion danced around in feathers. I think of hearsay when I hear that particular description. Would you like to name that newsreader, Dylan?
Well, no, there's no one in particular. I just think Kate does have a point. You know, it used to be a point, if you were a brilliant journalist, you ended up on telly.
Yeah.
And that was as far as you could go with that job. And it isn't about that anymore, which is a shame. And, you know, we did used to have some fantastic journalists.
She's got a really nice pearl necklace she's wearing there. That's nice. You've got a filthy little mind, haven't you?
Maybe you could
really are.
If you did have a word with Alexander McQueen and Bjork, maybe if Kate borrowed that dress, then she could get on Channel 5 and, you know.
I think she looks great. What is that? Giving someone a great big throne thing there.
Lovely.
Still to come on this edition, Nick Moran on offer for 4 nights. That's what we're giving away here on Liquid News. Let's go for it. 4 nights, you see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not clever. From wearing sharp suits, very sharp suits in Lock, Stock, Nick has graduated to more outrageous outfits in his US box office #1 hit, The Musketeer, very frilly.
Yeah.
But nice.
Yeah.
Nick has also found time to write, produce and star in Baby Juice, which is all about sperm smuggling.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. He's currently naked on stage in 4 nights at Knaresborough in Brighton at the moment, national tour. And his latest film, offering Christy Mallory's own double entry, has featured at this year's Indie Rain Dance Festival.
I'm not currently naked. I'm currently here, but I am naked this evening.
I'd work that one out.
Yes, good, just so we know. We don't want to, you know, this pay-per-view idea that we're both going to be naked by the end of the show, isn't it? It's not going to pull the punters in.
It would, trust me.
Okay.
It really would.
The ratings are going up as we speak.
As long as I stay clothed, it would all be fine, I think. Let's have a look at the promo clip.
Did you do these figures?
What figures?
You did those figures?
Yes, it's my job.
Think you're clever, don't you?
No.
Well, you're not. It's £10 out. Now get it to add up.
Yes, sir.
It's John. My name is John.
In the plugging world, there are about 15 options I have here to talk about. What would you like to go with?
I've been a busy boy. Well, I mean, right now I'm doing the play, which I'm immensely proud of, 4 nights in Knaresborough, which is about the knights that killed Becket in Canterbury Cathedral in the 12th century.
You're giving away the ending there.
In the end, no, they went and hid in Knaresborough Castle while the country was on the brink of civil war. So it's sort of, you know, there's 4 of them in one place going stir for a year, and it's a deeply funny. So it's modern language, a modern idiom, you know, so shades of Blackadder in it, but it's also, you know, a really serious bit of drama and the best bit of work I've ever done. And we're sort of packing them in on the tour, and I'm in Brighton at the moment, then Plymouth, and then Nottingham, and then we'll come into the West End with it. But I'm really proud of that, and that's, you know, and the fact that you've done a couple of cult movies has meant that we've managed to get a younger demographic into the theatre. And
you've had some old gits, as you call them.
Oh yeah, we had some old gits as well. We had
a
couple of people standing. There was one particular old git who stood up and said, "I've never heard obscenity like this in my life, and I'm leaving," which was just outrageous.
Was this when you were naked to the objective?
No. More nudity. No, he didn't last that long. He just, it was just you know, you say a couple of rude words which you could hear, you know, on any street corner, and they put noisy boots on and clunk out, and I just think that's, you know, it's uncalled for.
Well, that's great. You're so busy at the moment. It seems to be going very well for you. After Lock, Stock and that just exploded, was that a happy time, an exciting time, or a difficult time?
It was a nightmare. You know what it's like, you know. And I feel like a kid in a sweet shop with a £10 note, you know. And I just literally just went round, did everything, went everywhere, got given things and taken places, and you lose perspective. And the best thing that happened was I got sort of really ensconced in doing a lot of work, and that kept me sane. And you know, as long as you're busy, then you know what you're doing, and that's the best thing to do, I think.
What do you want from your career? Because you tried to kind of went over to Hollywood, I think, immediately after, or very soon after.
Yeah, no, that was just to promote Lock, Stock, and then we hung about for a bit and got a couple of jobs out of it. But what I'm really proud of is the film that I've written and produced, and that's as well as been in, and you know, and there's very few actors, especially in this country, that can do that, and that's what I did this summer, and it's hilarious and funny, and I can't wait for it to come out. But so more of that, I think. I mean, you know, sort of start steering my own chariot a little bit.
What's happening kind of in your life away from work at the moment? Are you buying a house? Or are you
nothing really.
buying a
Do you know
car?
what I mean? It's just ridiculous. I bought a flat and then it just stayed empty for, 2 months because I was, doing away filming. And now I've got a car that's sat on bricks. It's just, I've got absolutely nothing. I've spent a load of money and then got nothing to show for it.
Are you looking for tenants for the flat? Because we can do that here.
No, I'm looking for burglars. There's no one there and it's completely empty.
What's your problem with cats?
Oh, they're I don't know, they're a genetic mutation left over from an alien visit. They do nothing. They're manipulative, selfish, conceited, evil creatures that make me sneeze.
Do you need to workshop that a little
No.
bit?
No, I do actually. When I Baby Juice Express, I do have a cat killing in it, which with hilarious consequences. So if I can encourage that,
Okay, we've already established that if you'd met Ant and Dec and Westlife life partner wasn't involved, you'd go for them. Try it, wouldn't you?
The other West go for who?
Well, if you weren't dating the Westlife boy, you would have. Will you try with Nick?
those lovely
Try
guys
with Nick. Oh, Ant and Dec.
Would you try with Nick if you weren't Westlife then?
No, because he's insulted me all day.
Sorry.
Is he?
I'm sorry.
He was joshing
been
with you. He was
horrible.
being nice.
Can't help it.
I tried to tell a joke before, and then I shut up, and he still laughed at
I'm not
that,
doing
though.
therapy here today on my couch, I can tell you that. Now we've got one other story to tell you about. You'll like this one. A lot.
Okay.
Because it's very close to my heart. He's grotesquely featured razor-taloned and inhabits the land of shadows.
My agent?
I'm not saying what. We are talking about the underground rock artist known as Mortis from Norway.
Oh, yeah.
His fourth album, The Smell of Rain, was released this week. A launch party attended by goths, punks and pimps. With the story, here's the BBC's boy band correspondent, Jeff Moody.
My mother always says if I'm not in bed by 10, I should come home. But, for Liquid News, a walk on the dark side. I'm here in this salubrious part of town to hook up with a man who hangs out in the Devonshire Arms. He describes himself as unhuman becoming human. He's got a false nose and ears, and he goes by the name of Mortis. After my first snake bite and black, I begin to discover the inside track. He's described as Norway's legendary Lord of Darkness. He hates authority, and his fourth album, The Smell of Rain, is out now. It's appropriately released through Earache Records. It's billed as a dark, mesmerising musical masterpiece, and they say it's influenced by Enigma, 9 Inch Nails and Depeche Mode.
I never really started out with the intention of shocking. That was something that came along, the whole controversy and all that stuff. It's something that's largely been created by the media.
You know, somehow I thought we'd be to blame. Well, nothing to do with the fact that he looks like a cross between the Devil Incarnate and Doc Cotton. I then politely asked him whether it was maybe his appearance that invited criticism.
You know, I mean, the controversy can be good, but at the same time it can be bad, because a lot of times you need to live up to something like a myth. Like I said it twice already, you know, but I also said...
All right, keep your hair on. But at the launch party, it's a chance to run into old friends.
Rockbridge, hello again!
Good evening to you.
Are you all well?
Yep, like a cheap suit we get everywhere.
So do I, so do I.
A rock bitch are a lesbian sex commune who use their band to recruit members. They've come in for a little bit of criticism from the press themselves, but I find them really nice.
Everybody's got the right to express themselves creatively, whether it be through their clothing, their hair, or what they want to say.
I think it's a good way of showing, like, getting somebody to talk about their music as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why he probably does it.
The link between music and image has never been stronger than in the world of rock. We just check out how badly I fit in. But then again, I don't suppose Mortis could get a table at the Ivy. Jeff Moody, BBC News.
Dear me, a lesbian rock combo.
Can I just say that I'm going to watch this show all the time from now. It's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
That's hilarious.
Oh, let's plug our show for once, as opposed to everyone else's bits and pieces. Now, Mortis there.
Yeah.
Hey, did that remind you of anyone in particular?
Someone I used to go out with when I was at college, but...
Well, it reminded us of someone who you sat next to just the other day. We think there's a connection between Mortis and Cher. It's a little close, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's just leave it at that. It's an observation. We've never seen them in the same room together. It's either that or we now know what Lorraine Chase is doing for a living, one of the two. Anyway.
It's just outrageous sort of attention-seeking, isn't it? You know, just how far can you go to get yourself on telly? It's just ludicrous.
Thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you very much. And good luck with the TV career.
That's if we've got one after
Good.
this.
I hope you bond together. We'll see you over on Choice every night, 5 to 7. Goodbye.